Welcome to another episode of Natural Mojo, where I'm bringing you energy and power from the great outdoors. My name is Pamela, your host, and I'm also known as the Mojo Maker. Well, it's been another fabulous weekend out here in the backcountry on Vancouver Island, and it just sort of gave me a thought or two about going back into the city and the things that I usually fuss about and the things that my clients usually go on about too. And one of them being is that curse. You know, that curse that we all walk around with, that one about how we see ourselves in relationship to other people. So today I'm here to talk about how to stop caring about what other people think. Now, I don't want you to get me wrong and think that we're going to be some sort of I'm turning you into some sort of sociopath and you can just run roughshod over people and not care what they think. What I'm talking about specifically is that feeling and action and thing that we go on about where it stops us in our tracks from realizing our best selves and putting our best vision forward because we worry about the good opinion of other people. Now, you've heard me use that phrase a lot, the good opinion of other people, and I'm being facetious when I talk about that. It's more the opinion of other people that have no idea or even business getting into your head about what you should and shouldn't do. And we seem to follow the opinion of other people as if they know what's best for us. But do they? You know, when we were growing up, our early handlers, like our parents, had our best intentions at heart and gave us direction and guidance, as they should. But as we grew into adulthood, it was now incumbent upon us to know what was best for ourselves. Yet we, time and time again, hand that responsibility over to those that don't even know us at all, and we follow their lead. We take their advice. We take their best practices and try to apply it to ourselves as if we feel they have the answer to the holy grail of our lives. But they don't. Only you do. So it's up to you to take responsibility for yourselves. But the first step to take is to stop caring to that point where you give over full control to other people and in some cases even stop yourself from following and realizing your best vision and version of yourself. So let's talk about some things about that. And I have made a little bit of a list here that I want to refer to time and time again. So one of the reasons that we tend to hand over this huge and important aspect to other people is because we lack a lot of self-love. We don't take into account who we are as a human being on this planet and how we fit into the big scheme of things. Like I said before, we hand over the responsibility of the direction of our lives to other people, not taking into account what we want. And that's a huge question for people. People tumble into a trauma-like response, much like fight, flight, or freeze, mostly freeze, because when asked what they want, a lot of people haven't really spent any great lengths of time deciding what it is that they want or choosing what they want. They feel that if they choose something, they might have to actually act upon it. And a lot of people choose things based on what they think they can do, how much money they have for it, do they have the time or energy for it, and then they choose the thing. That's not how you choose what's good for your life. You select something. And then, if possible, start taking steps towards it. And once you do, life sort of comes and swirls around you to help support that decision. But most people won't even get that far because they don't believe that they have the wherewithal to make it happen. You don't have to have the wherewithal to make it happen. You just have to decide. Make that scary leap and choose something. And to me, that is practicing self-love. We tend to be able to tell other people what they could and should do, don't we? But for ourselves, we just can't and or won't do it. So the first step in not caring about what other people think is having enough self-love to choose what's best for you and taking action towards that. Okay? So let's move into the next point I want to make about not caring about what other people think is not trying to please everybody. You know, especially we ladies, we tend to want to be people pleasers. For some reason, that's how we've been conditioned, to make sure the other person is well, the other person has what they need, the other person is comfortable. And we place ourselves at the bottom of that ladder, don't we? And then when it's time to get to ourselves, we're too tired, or we just don't have enough energy to create the circumstances and the environment for us to thrive in the way that we know that we can. So to me, it's now pleasing ourselves, not at the sole discretion of other people. I'm not talking about becoming a narcissist here, but at least make room and time for yourself. Please yourself. Stop looking to please other people, because let me tell you something. Even though we think pleasing other people is a noble endeavor, people do not like people that suck up to them. They do not like people pleasers. They like people who are affirmative. They like people who take command of a situation. We all feel so much safer when we're around people that are committed to their decisions, that can make quick decisions, that know who they are, that take command and control of a situation, and most of all themselves. So why would you want to become a people pleaser? Okay? If you are considering other people all the time, it's one of the things and roles you fall into. And that just sort of highlights the fact that you have very low self-esteem. And self-esteem, if you don't have it, it's a very uncomfortable way to live and a very difficult thing to overcome. It's a deep-seated thought we have about ourselves and our ability to rise up to any situation. And it's a lifelong task and work that you need to do on yourself and able to move to the next level. It's not impossible, but it is work, and it's not easy. It's something that I constantly work on when I recognize this about myself. And it'll always be a little thing on my shoulder, but I'm now aware of it. So understanding who you are and self-knowledge, this is why I tell people they need to know themselves before they get into anything. Know the things that trip you up. And a lack of self-love and low self-esteem is trouble for you. And I'm going to highlight that because it is trouble for you. It's why you consider the good opinion of other people and care what they think. You know, this is one of the reasons why people can't get up in front of others and state their opinion, or ask for what they want, or ask for the sale, or ask to be paid well and properly, or ask for a raise, or ask to be loved, or ask for anything. They just fear what people will say. They fear hearing no. They fear rejection. And all these are signs of low self-esteem. You know, even the most courageous among us do not want to be rejected. I mean, it's not that we are masochists, but we also understand what it means. It's part of the process for growth and evolution. You need to stretch yourself. You need to feel the discomfort of growth. But most people don't want to feel that discomfort and put themselves behind other people who they believe will buffet them from the strong winds of rejection. But they won't. All right, at some point, you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet and get out there and do what you have to do so you can get what you need to get. All right? So when you're caring too much about what other people think, you stop yourself from fully realizing your power, from fully realizing all the gifts that you are inherently alive and fully functioning with. You just won't own them because you're too afraid to exhibit them and expose them to the world. And that's exactly what life needs you to do, is to show up in your full glory. Okay? So I'm here as the Mojo Maker, urging you to stand tall in who you are and to practice your authenticity. You know, authenticity is not something that we step into today and we've got it. You have to practice it. It took me forever to feel comfortable in the role as the Mojo Maker. Yes, it's a title I bestowed upon myself, but it was awkward at first. No one gave me a certificate that says, here, we now endow you as the Mojo Maker. I endowed myself, but I also had to practice standing in that role and leaning into that role because it felt awkward, and I was so cognizant of how I was going to feel in front of people with that label. I cared about what people thought. For the longest time, I wanted people to see me as a professional woman of substance and elegance and grace, and I felt that if I came out with that title, oh my goodness, what are they going to think? So I labored under that thinking. What are people going to say? What are they going to think? But in the long run, my friend, What people think and what people say and do is none of your business. None of these people are going to be there to pay your bills or to dry your tears or to pat you on the back. All right? This is all up to you and your inner circle. Should be the only thing that you have to worry about, not what strangers think across the way or across the planet or behind a screen. This is the work. This is the work of building yourself up so that kind of thing no longer matters. To a degree, I care about what people think, but not to the point where it stops me. I have to care what I think first. When I close my eyes at night, what did I think about how I performed today? Did I push through when I didn't feel like doing the thing? Did I do the honorable thing? Did I break any promises? Did I keep the promises to myself and to other people? That's really all I care about, okay? And I really do hope that you're thinking about this for yourself. Caring about what other people think, especially as women, is the number one reason why we don't get where we're going. All right? And this is all this is all I'm hoping for you as the Mojo Maker. And this is what I help women do. I help empower themselves. I help them infuse life and energy and a little bit of magic into their vision and their vibrancy so that they can stand up in their greatness and do what they have to do for themselves and for the world. People are waiting for you. As you know, you might think, well, you have nothing to share. There's a reason you're here. And until you uncover that reason and share that reason, you'll never know. There might be one person waiting for you to say something that will make all the difference in the world you don't know. You don't know who you're impacting, and you will never know if all you care about is what other people think. So other people will always block you from flowing in to the best fruits waiting on the other side for you. Okay, let me see what else is on this piece of paper. Work on your purpose. I talk about purpose a lot, and with good reason. Now, I know a lot of you might think that, purpose is something that you have to go on this huge, epic journey to find, and it's this big, grand, shining North Star. No, your purpose could be simply finding your purpose. Maybe your purpose for the next 3 to 6 months is working on writing in your journal all the things that you want to become, all the things that you want to do. Maybe for now that is your purpose until you run into a bigger purpose or a different purpose. Don't make finding your purpose this achingly hard and difficult thing to do like most people do. They just won't do it because they think it's difficult. It is not. Every day, just put your mind to where you want to go. It may not be obvious to you. When I started out on my purpose, I didn't know what it was. It and I sort of collided together one day. I was in an airport coming back from a presentation I had in Halifax, and I was in the airport and I was tired, and I got a call from a client and he asked how I was doing, and I said, you know what, I'm just so burnt out, I think I've lost my mojo. And he said, you could never lose your mojo. And boom, in that moment, it all came falling down on me. Now, it took me a couple more years to actually say it aloud about the whole mojo making thing, but when you're not even expecting it, your purpose can find you, and then it's up to you to own it and fully practice and own it and actualize it. That's your job. So don't over agonize about this whole purpose thing, but there is one somewhere waiting for you. And if you are in your purpose, how about ratcheting up that purpose to a new level in a different place and expanding it and scaling it in a way that even surprises you? So my friend, all I want you to understand this week on Natural Mojo is to stop caring about what other people think, and stop having the good opinion of other people stop you from going after the life that you've always envisioned. And if you want some more information, I'm putting out some really great thoughts on a newsletter every week. Just go to my website at PamelaSylvan.com and download the ebook I have sitting on my front page, and you're on the list, and you'll be getting some of this information to help infuse some more energy and power and mojo into your life too. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week on Natural Mojo.